Happy Wednesday, everyone. So I'm just going to sage everything, and today I felt the urge to come and do a video for you all. So I'm transmuting all negative energy from this area, and I want to share a few things with you today. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday. So today I'm going to talk about trauma and what it is, and what happens if you don't work with that trauma. So for anyone who don't know, but I'm sure a lot of you know, last year in October 2024 I was off through a little tough time myself, and I felt really broken inside. And then I knew I was getting messages from the universe, source, because I kept seeing 1111 when I was at my rock bottomest bit. For me, my rock bottomest bit where I felt like an absolute empty shell. I kept getting these little motivation quotes at the same time, and it was just like, hey, we've got you, you're all right, you know, trust everything's all right. And then that's when you get back up and you're like, yeah, I will be all right, let's do this. And along with that came a spiritual awakening for me. I absolutely love it, won't change it for the world. I've done some real deep inner work and growth, self reflection where I needed. You know, I hold myself accountable for my past behaviour and my bad behaviours. Now I know I can deal with that. I'm totally in check with my emotions. And if there is ever a time that I'm going to get triggered, then every time I get triggered, I'm like, what is the lesson that I need to learn from that? What have I pushed down to the side, or maybe it needs a little bit more work? Now, in my time of then, I was doing some chakra healing on myself, got really into it, talked about my emotions and stuff, energy healing, energy chakra healing, and I absolutely loved it, and I would recommend it. So that's what I did. And then funnily enough, I ended up getting a chakra tattoo. Wasn't the plan, didn't know what it meant, just really liked the idea of it. Had some sort of gist, but didn't really recognise that they all resonate with each chakra in your body. Obviously it meant to be with my 1111 tattoo. I've also got 222 and 444 tattooed as well, which is balance and protection. So anyways, that's enough about that. But I decided to do the inner work for me, because although I am a nice person, I was very raging, angry, and that was because I had so many repressed emotions and traumas that you just think everything's all right. You put a little band-aid on it and it's all right, and you put it down. But then when someone says or does something that you feel threatened by or whatever, it kicks in and then off you go because you're not in check of your emotions. So this journey's been brilliant for me. I've loved it. And it's not a case of, oh yeah, that happened, everything's going to be all right. I'll put a plaster on it and I'm going to be all right. It's really doing deep internal work, and when you do that, you start to really value yourself, and you get to learn more about yourself. You know who you are, who you're meant to be. You step into your own true power, your own authenticity, and it's not about hating people. There's no judgment, but you automatically become aware of other people's unresolved traumas, issues, because then you become like a mirror. So you're like a self-reflection. And I'm aware of all that, and I'm very in check with all that. And if there's something doesn't align with me, or I don't agree with something, and I do feel like this is part of who I've always been, I'm always one for speaking up for justice in injustice times. Like, it's just a thing for me. I do it, and I don't be nasty about it. It's just me. People are so unaware of accountability and awareness that they lack it in themselves. So, you know, I could just generally be having a conversation with Steve at home, and I say something and he gets really defensive about it, and it's like, why is that brought up a defensive emotion? You know, it's just things like that. Anyway, just know that if you've come through some trauma experiences and you've thought you've dealt with it, but then anything else triggers you that, or this could be, you know, like you've lost a parent, you've lost a good friend, you've had some trauma experience in your life with relationships, work, love, bullies at school, home life, anything like that, and then you thought you've dealt with it, but it shows up in your life today in any area, then you haven't dealt with it. I can 100% tell you haven't dealt with that. And I'm going to just show you something now. I've always been really, I don't even know how to say this, really in tune with energy. It's just something that I really have always had. I'm aware of energy. I can feel people's energy. I can read people's energy. I can, with like the spirit realm, whatever, I can always tell if energetically, if there's a presence near me. Like yesterday, I did my meditation yesterday. I felt there was somebody sat at the side of me on the sofa. I'm quite in check with with the energies and stuff, but I don't tap into people's energy without permission, because it's just like reading someone's journal. You don't do it, it's privacy. And also, like with the spiritual side of things, from when I was younger, I used to see spirits and stuff. My nana's, this is a story that people who know me know. When I was younger, we lived in this really awful house, and we used to sleep with my mum because it was just really unnerving. You could feel the energy in that house, and it wasn't a nice presence. And one night I remember sat talking to my great grandma and granddad that I would have, which was my nana's mum and dad, which I would have only seen when I was maybe up to the age of 2, I think. I pre this, I didn't know who they were, didn't remember them or anything. Anyway, one night I had a conversation with them both on the bed, sat up, talking clear as day. Not scared, lovely conversation. And a few weeks later, my nana got sent a picture of her mum and dad from a relatives in Newcastle. And it was a black and white picture. And it was really funny because I remember she got it and I said, that's them who I was talking. Well, I was like, that's them. And they're like, that's them what? And I was like, that's them who I was talking to, in exactly the same clothes and everything. And it turns out it was my nana's mum and dad, my great grandma and granddad. So I've always been in tune with like spirits and stuff, open to that, but everybody has psychic abilities. It's if you tune into yourself to be aware of that energy. And then I shut it off when Chris died, my best friend, out of fear. I was so scared. I had nightmares for years and years and years. Horrible nightmares that, you know, we would get the coffin, dig him up, and then he'd be like, just look at me. And I'd say no, and I'd run away, and he'd be chasing me. And I was just so scared. Like, I didn't want to see what he was going to look like. It frightened the life out of me. And then one time I came to terms with that, and I did face him, and that was probably only, I'm going to say in the last 4 years or so, that that happened. And then obviously this house, we've had stuff, we've had previous houses what have been energetically with spirits in. Steve will tell you, he knows. Evie's seen things in this house. We've had things go on in this house, but this house isn't a scary energy. So it's always, when you do this sort of thing, you're aware of how to protect yourself and cleanse yourself from negative energies. And I protect obviously my family and cleanse the house quite a lot. So yeah, so that's that. And it's nothing to be scared of. The only reason that you probably stop receiving messages or whatever is because everybody is so busy scrolling on social media, so busy thinking about what they're doing next. Nobody is ever present, and nobody is ever silent enough to quieten your mind off and just meditate for a little bit. So until you start tapping into your quietness of your mind, you're never going to hear it, because they don't come and just go, woo, I'm here, like, you know, or tap on your shoulder and say, hey, I'm here. But you will get like sequence of like synchronicities. You know, there might be certain songs that come on the radio and you think, oh wow, that takes me back to that. That's them just letting you know they're around. White feathers, robins, all that sort of stuff. Now this stuff probably sounds mental for other people and people are into it. That's fine. I'm not scared of talking about it. I'm open about it because it's who I am, and I don't need to be validated by anybody else, because I am true to myself and I'm happy with myself, and I accept myself that I do what I do and enjoy doing because it brings me love, makes me feel happy, and it's just something that I've always done. And in my spiritual awakening, this is obviously the journey that I'm going down. So I'm learning tarot. I'm learning to connect back up to the spirit realm. I've done Reiki level 1, which is with energy, which I didn't even know what Reiki was. And then one day I was just sat in the living room and I said to Steve, I'm doing Reiki. I want to do Reiki 1, 2, 3. Everything happens in divine timing, and this is now like my soul's purpose. I'm fulfilling my soul's purpose, and I absolutely love it. And you know that when it's for you, because you feel passionate about it, and if it isn't the right path, they'll steer you in direction for something else. So like I've been thinking recently about a lot of courses. I've been doing a lot of self-development courses, really digging deep. I've just finished one, I've signed up to another one, but then I was like, how can I build what I'm doing into help other people? So along the way, I'm like an energy healer, and we'll be building up on that to become stronger at my energy healing and helping other people through their experiences. And then I was looking at a particular course, and there was just something in me that kept saying, like, no, umming and ahhing, and I was like, no, that's not the one. And then there was another one that really was for me, what I thought I wanted, but I didn't sign up to that because I did a quiz, and there was another one which is very similar, and it's working with the mindset and mindfulness, which I definitely want to do. But then that'll tie in probably with the other course. It's all gonna lead me to a greater path of what I want to fulfill going forward, but they'll come to me in the divine timing when they're meant to. And it's really hard to not get impatient and want to control the situation, but you just have to trust the process. So anyone who's in a spiritual awakening and this resonates, then welcome to the Spiritual Awakening Club, because it's not pretty, but it's worth it. So hope that resonates with anyone. If not, then leave it behind. But here's something else I'm going to talk to you about energy. So when we're all born, our energy is all crystal clear, like water, pure, right? And then, I don't know, let's say you get bullied at school. That's one trauma gone into there. Your parents divorce, 2. You know, you have a real bad relationship. That's in there. Let's see what else. You know, you have somebody that passes away that you love so much. You know, it could just be a really unnerving look from your mum, your dad, whatever, all going in there. Any traumas that come across your life, you know, narcissistic relationships. I am going to say this, you know, like sexual abuse, domestic abuse, you know, broken relationships, cheating, just toxic environments, right? They all go into this pot. So that is not clear energy now. Your energy is not flowing because all that is stored there, right? And when you don't work on these and you just put a little band-aid on it and think, it's going to be all right, guess what? That is just repressed emotions that you don't want to face because you know it's going to be hurtful facing it. The best thing you can do is face it, because they show up in your life and they're stopping you fulfilling who you are truly meant to be. because they're hindering you and you're stuck in life cycles. So ask yourself, are you in a cycle what you just think, wow, it's happening again, it's just repeating and repeating and repeating? That is this, right? So when you start to work with your emotions and you start, for me this was chakra healing, and I feel like this really resonates with chakra energy healing. You know, you start working on them trauma. So let's say, I don't know, I want to say the bullying at school. Didn't really get bullied at school, there's just an example. So that bullying at school, that's one out. You know, domestic abuse, let's say, that's another one out. Broken relationships, another one out. Let's say narcissistic ex, right? So you get the gist. When you work on them energies, all the energy is now, you know, you've removed some and you've still got some more to work on, and it's a continuous path. So if you get triggered by somebody's behavior, right, that you maybe think is normal to you because you've been used to doing it, because you put them emotions down, that is then, you've just pushed it to the side because you don't want to deal with it. And I cannot honestly tell you how freeing it is to do that inner work. It's the dark night of the soul. It's very lonely. Well, it's not lonely. I like my own company, so I'm quite happy doing it. And it's something that I will continue to work on every day. Will I shut it down and will I be inauthentic by trying to be a people pleaser and that again? Absolutely not. No, because that is not who I am. So yeah, so that is really why you need to work on them issues, because if not, they're going to constantly show up in your life and you're never going to get off the I don't know, do you want to call it karmic cycle? The cycle of life that is just not the fulfilling life that you want, because familiar is a pattern. So you might have had all them issues and you meet a new person and you're like, yeah, great. You haven't done the inner work, you're going to get with familiar because it brings all that background to you. So that's just a little bit about energy. So I hope that helps. I hope you found that that was helpful for you. And it maybe it's really hard to express all this, but I'm trying to do it in a way that you would understand this, because if this helps one person, or if this makes one person aware of their emotions or accountable for how they behave, or, you know, to be like aware and be like, yeah, actually I do need to work on my emotions, or that is just really good. I'm not asking, I just want people to do better for themselves and be better, because we all can be better and we all can show up for the person who we are. And I feel like if you don't show up as your true person and you're having to change who you are to fit the mold and to fit in, then you are not living to your authentic self. I'll admit, I'll just show up as I am. Before, was I? No, because I was a people pleaser. I didn't have boundaries. You know, in my relationship now, me and Steve, we've talked things through. We are on a really good path. And he knows I've got boundaries. I have boundaries with everything in my life now, because if I start letting them boundaries slip, does he have to change for me? No, because I don't want no one to change for me. You've got to, and I can't make nobody change. Everybody has to want to make the change for themselves. You cannot change anybody. So for me, if people don't align with me, or don't, if there's like toxic energy, or they avoid accountability, or they're just not showing up for themselves, it's kind of like, and there's only so many times you can tell people to show up for themselves, then I just step back a bit, because my energy is precious, and I don't mean that from a selfish point. It's really precious and valuable to me, and everyone just needs to raise the vibration just a little bit. So that also plays in with what you're watching, what you're listening to. You know, news is negative. Sharing all negative stuff on social media, you're wasting your energy on it. Unless you can physically do something to change that wasted energy, Put good music on. Put uplifting music on. Don't watch telly. Watch something that's really good that you really want to, like a good series or something. And also they can have an effect on you. So if you're sharing posts that are making you angry and annoyed about that, you're going to show up with your energy as angry. If you're watching something that's really sad and emotional, like, you're going to start feeling sad and emotional. If you're watching something that's happy, it might be like, oh, I love that. It's just such a nice thing. So just remember that, just keep in check with your emotions. So what I'm going to do today as well, because I've done a lot of ranting and rambling, if you want to call it that, but hopefully this information was good to somebody. If not, hey ho, it might resonate with some people. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull 3 messages from the universe deck, and I'm going to pull an angel number card for you. But what I want to do is, if I would like you to just, I'm going to do my 128 hertz frequency to remove any negative blocks and energy. And I want you to just close your eyes and take a deep breath in through the nose and blow it out. And when you get these messages, just really take it in, because these are messages from the universe that is going to be for the collective energy. So these might resonate with you, they might not, but it might be something that prompts you to have a little think about. How are you showing up for yourself? You know? So let's go. So I call in my spirits and angels, please, to help receive messages for the collective energy for daily guidance. Thank you, spirits and angels. And one thing that I will tell you as well is how being present is so important. Like, when you're watching this back, because I've recorded it, just stop in the moment in what you're doing and just see if you can just be present on, if you're washing the pots and you've got a dish in your hand with your cloth, be present washing that dish. If you're making a cup of tea, don't be thinking about drinking it and sitting down. Think about you are stood there making it. If you're cooking tea, don't be thinking about, I'm dishing it out on plate. Think about cooking it there. If you sat reading the book, don't be letting your mind wander on the things that you've got to do later, because that is not being present and that is robbing you. Being present is living for the moment. Okay? So, spirits, angels, what messages do the collective energy people need to receive today, please, from messages from the universe for daily guidance? Thank you, spirits and angels. In love and light, what messages do the collective people need to receive, please, for daily energy guidance, please? Thank you, spirits and angels. So there we are. So that's the 3 messages from the universe. So, message number 1. No act of kindness is ever wasted. Some of the kindest people you will ever meet have been through hell and back themselves. That strengthens their compassion and empathy. If this is describing you, keep being the beautiful soul that you are. So that's the message there. But just remember, you need to reserve your own energy as well with that. Message number 2. If you find yourself constantly seeing reoccurring numbers or words, it's a sign that you are being supported, cared for and divinely protected by the universe. Beautiful things are about to happen to you. See, been talking about the universe. I'm a strong believer in source, universe, universal energy. Trust the process and let go. You don't need to control everything in your life. Message number 3. This new chapter in your life is going to require a new way of seeing things and a new way of seeing yourself. You can't continue to see and interpret things with the same understanding that you have had until now. No matter what you face or how you feel or how you see it all from a higher perspective. So that's another thing. Changing your perspective. People take things too personally or take offence to stuff. Change your perspective on stuff. It might not be people are having a go. It might be them trying to guide you to do something correct or the right way, or maybe saying to you, it's just like, you just have to change your perspective on things. Stop being so offended by what everyone says. Everybody isn't out to get you in this world. And if you feel like that, then you also need to do some internal work. So I'm just going to read the messages again. I know this video has gone on for ages, but there's so much like important stuff I need to tell you. So, no act of kindness is ever wasted. Some of the kindest people you will ever meet have been through hell and back themselves. That strengthens their compassion and empathy. If this is describing you, keep being the beautiful soul you are. Now, that, I feel with this energy, loads of people are really nice, but there's also the energy vampires and the people that do something in return. Now, if you are that person, that's not out of kindness, love and empathy. That is, it's like a loan. You're giving them that because you want something back. That's not the way forward. That's not opening your heart chakra and your heart space. So if you are that person that does things intentionally knowing you were going to call a favour back, then you need to work on that. Second message, if you find yourself constantly seeing reoccurring numbers or words, it's a sign that you are being supported, cared for and divinely protected by the universe. Beautiful things are about to happen to you. So just believe there's always something greater than yourself out there. Trust the process. And if you do see angel numbers, like synchronicities, and it's the same repeated number, then do check it up, because that's what the message is coming through. Certain songs, could be a certain song that you used to listen to when your parents passed away, or you got married, a happy memory, or like, I don't know, I played a particular song. There's always a song that I will know if it's my nana, because when my nana passed away, there was a particular song on that I took and played her who she liked. So for me, that would resonate. Nana's trying to get in contact with me. So that's how that fits. But just remember, there's always something, there is something greater out there. Trust in source or the universe. Trust the process. Let go of control and just let it flow. And then the third message was, this new chapter in your life is going to require a new way of you seeing things yourself. You can't continue to see and interpret things with the same understanding that you have had until now. No matter what you face or how you feel, see it all from a higher perspective. So just remember, change your perspective in things. When somebody says something to you, don't just instantly put your guard up and think, they're having a go at me. You know, what they say to you might be for your highest good. You know, just remember, sometimes people can mirror what you see, and you know, like, you can be like a mirror, self-reflection thing, so that can reflect in them, so you can be the opposite of what they are, and they maybe don't like it. Or, you know, you might bring compassion and love to people's life, and they love your energy. Check that, how that resonates. But yeah, just change your perspective on things. Don't think so negative and everything's negative. You know, how can you grow? How can you do self-growth and development if you're always negative? So now let's do an angel number. So if this number might resonate, you might see it quite a lot. If not, it's confirmation, or you might just see it after this. But let's go. Let's see what they've got to say to you. Spirits, angels, what angel number do the collective people need to see for energy daily guidance, please? In love and light, thank you. 2 flew out, so you're going to have 2. So 1919, I've got marbles flying everywhere. 1919, cycles, karma, transformation, balance, influence, power, cycles, change, renewal. Karma is approaching. Let go of the need to control, as you cannot force things to happen. Embrace the lessons life offers to prevent them from repeating in the future. Make room for new experiences and positive transformations in your life. See, you can't make this up, because I don't know what cards are going to come out, but what have I just been talking about? Karmic cycles. So there you go. That's that one. And 0000. Limitless potential. Transformation, serenity, trust, achievement, release, potential, success and triumph. This is a powerful reminder that anything is possible. If you can dream it, you have the ability to make it a reality. What someone else has can also be yours. Stay calm and trust that what is meant for you will come your way. Release any tension, embrace relaxation, knowing that your potential is boundless. Let me grab that there so you can see that. See, there's enough love and enough of everything to go around in the world. So don't be scared to share your secrets, what you're learning. Everybody's path and everybody's journey is different, and it's unique to them. Everybody's pace of the path is at different levels. So don't worry if you're not at the same level as someone else, if you're not even on your journey yet. You know, your time will come when your time's meant to come. So with that being said, hope you found that this video was informational for you. If it resonates and helps, then that's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed evening. Peace, love and light. Donna.